All right, you are listening to an episode of Transparency and Merit. And my name's Joe, and I'm here with Brian. We're talking about the coronavirus and activist journalists and journalism. And the coronavirus, of course, isn't going nowhere. So, what's going on? What are you on about here? What got you
Well,
riled and inspired to cover this?
you know what? What got me riled to cover this is they kind of keep saying, like a lot of the journalists there are making political hay out of this. And you know what, Joe? I can remember a time when, yeah, journalists were somewhat biased, but I mean, it's gotten worse with the activist journalists. I mean, with these people just putting in their own opinions. And, I can remember a time when people did not do that. And I almost wanted to do a few clips of Ted Koppel and the rest, but I'm not going to do that today. I mean, even Walter Cronkite, who was somewhat of a liberal, never never behaved
Oh, what would they
the
have said
way
about the coronavirus?
they'd have just given the facts. They would never have lectured. They would have never have lectured how the president's handling this.
Right.
They would have never have given their input. They never did that. And you know what? I think, and I could be wrong on this, but I'm thinking that there is the people who ran the studios back in the day were, much more above board, and they had a military. A lot of them had, there was kind of a military kind of background. Not all of the journalists were in the military, but enough people were in the military where they kind of followed suit. These are the orders. You are to conduct yourself. This is how you are to behave, and you have to follow suit. And the further we've gotten away from that, Joe, the worse the activist journalists we've gotten here. And it's like I said, it's just gotten far worse over the years. And CNN has just become, it's become awful.
It's a toxic dump.
It is. And it's losing ratings. But, the thing is, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with that organization? I mean, it's certainly on YouTube. It's got still like millions of people following and stuff like that. But I mean, I can't believe that people like take it seriously. And what I've noticed, by the way, Joe, is before there were a lot more comments about how negative, like a lot more negative comments on the CNN, on the comment section. And I think they filter all of those out now just because they don't want, and I think there's a lot of funny business
Oh yeah.
going on YouTube because a lot of, I just don't think they're very popular. And I don't think these activist journalists are very popular, but I think that they've started to kind of basically fidget with the comments and fidget even with the like and dislike ratio, and that seems to be happening quite a bit.
There's
Joe.
no question that that YouTube. So what I think is that there are YouTube shills for every subject matter that exists, and I think if you go against these people, a lot of them have, and this is just my conspiracy theory, maybe, but I think they have connections to YouTube, and if they want your numbers suppressed, then that's what's going to happen. I don't think that. I'm not suggesting by any means that that's happened to us. We're just really just getting started here on ours. But you've asked me a couple times about shadow banning, and with 20 subscribers, come on, we are off the radar. But I'm talking about, and you don't have to be big though to be affected. I'm not saying that either. But if you go after some of the more elite YouTubers, I think that's a surefire way to get fall right into that. That's when strikes start happening. You start getting their trolls and the whole bit.
Well, if you go after elite personalities, you end up getting a chance of getting strikes on your channel.
But I think even less the elite players, they could give a crap. They've got millions of subs. They've got a lot of money coming at them. I don't think those are the ones. The ones that I would worry about are the ones that are more lesser known, but they have good numbers, and they have good podcasts, usually like well produced or overproduced podcasts, and those are the people that could really filter out people like smaller shows from getting the exposure they want. That's just how I see it. I might be wrong, but that's just kind of based on the shows that I've watched and seen their strikes as they come in, and they prove it. They'll show one thing that is a common tactic too, or some of the bigger named YouTubers will claim their show's been taken down 18 times, and you never see any of the evidence of that, or maybe some strange YouTube report. But from what I've seen, the people that are being sincere are the ones that can really prove, like they'll show their email, and it's very obvious. But anyways, there's a lot of craziness going on YouTube. There is a lot of interesting jockeying for position.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've noticed that stuff that's unpopular, they take off. They'll take off the thumbs up and thumbs down.
I've heard that too. Yeah, the likes and the right, those numbers start getting played with. Their video can get taken down for a couple hours, and then when they're put back up, the numbers are completely refreshed. So
yeah,
I've seen that.
And also, yeah. And another thing they'll do is they'll comments have been the comment section has been removed. You cannot make comments. And by the way, I've been kicked out, because I made a few comments. I've been kicked out of a few comment sections, and these people who claim, even groups that claim that they're open to other sides, not so much. When there are a few things you can't say or speculate on, and they will kick you out of the comment section. And it's like I said, it's really anti-free speech. And the truth is, how do we know the truth if the media is basically today's media is filled with activist journalists? I mean, CNN, for example, is being sued.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've already been sued by the Covington kids, and you can just tell that they wear their bias on their sleeve. And I just want you to play a quick commentating from I believe CE Cup. I think that's how you pronounce her name.
Yes.
She's one of the commentators on there, and just listen to a little bit of her commentating, and I'll say shut it off. I don't want to play the whole thing. I don't want to get us struck with a ding or anything like that.
Just as long, talk over her if you want to. Just make comments as she's going.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Tonight's headline: panic attack. The coronavirus has unleashed a wave of panic across the country, evidenced by runs on hand sanitizer and face masks, cancellations of major events, schools, and transportation closures and quarantines.
And let me just say, the impact of hearing that on the news and then going to Costco and seeing huge lines, or going to a market that you're familiar with, like I did today, and they have no toilet paper, and people immediately are putting, oh, well, the news was right. And it's a scary thing that's going
Well,
on.
I'll tell you something. Well, do you remember, the War of the Worlds fiasco, the 1939 War of the World with Orson Welles when he did that? I don't want to say it's the same thing because there's some, reality here. But the one thing that I think that is happening with this virus is, first of all, we have, particularly in our, like in our country and in other countries, we have the internet and the news media just hyping this up. Secondly, the people who seem to be buying all the toilet paper and all the hand sanitizers all seem to be people whom are foreign born. And these are people, when pandemics happen, stuff begins missing. So, and then it's just acting, and now people are just acting right along with it. But these are every one of the people that I know of who are who I've seen and who've, like, some of the, because I talked to some of the store people, they all seem to be like from foreign, foreign countries, not Western countries, but they immigrated to Western countries, and this is the way they behave because they're not used to first world countries. And when third world countries have pandemics, things run out, and that's why they're acting the way they do. Let's continue on with playing this this woman.
States. There are two crucial weapons in the fight to stop an outbreak: science and information. Now, I'm not a scientist. If you're also not a scientist, you're left to rely on information passed along from scientists to the government and then
science
to the public, you and me. But that information has been slow to come, complicated, and in some cases even compromised, resulting in, well, panic. That's not because we don't have good scientists. It's mostly because we don't trust our government. Public trust in government is at historic lows, and
we also Turner. Okay,
yes.
Can you
just start?
Yeah. Okay. Another thing we don't trust, by the way, I don't want to just talk over. The other thing we don't trust is our news programs.
Yes.
And one of the things that because they don't put this on their YouTube site because they don't want negative responses to it. But they've talked about Trump's travel ban. That travel ban is popular.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I take that back. I want to.
My fellow Americans.
Oh, let me see if they have any. No, they don't. They don't have any commentating that CNN did because they know it's wildly unpopular.
What are you talking about?
Okay. Trump has suspended travel from Europe.
Okay.
And another thing that the news media, particularly CNN, doesn't cover is the countries, and I could be wrong on this, but I'm hearing that the countries that have closed their borders have had a better handle on this virus than countries that have not. Continue.
He has made, according to fact checkers, more than 14,000 false or misleading claims since his inauguration. We told you his lies would matter, even as his supporters shrugged them off as just, Trump being Trump. Nowhere are the lies more consequential than during a major health crisis. To wit, the president claimed he had a hunch that the World Health Organization is wrong about the death rate from coronavirus. He has undermined the severity of the outbreak by claiming Democrats are just trying to hurt him politically. He has used the health crisis to advocate for his anti-immigration policy. He has contradicted his own scientists and experts in real time. During a serious visit to the CDC, he cracked a joke about his Ukraine phone call being more perfect than coronavirus tests. He riffed on TV ratings. He stoked a feud with the governor of the state at the epicenter of the U.S. outbreak. And there was this.
And we've now shifted out, I think it was enough to test 75,000 people into the public health labs there.
Anybody that wants a test can get a test. That's what
I would just say that we...
All right, you know what? I mean, she's clearly someone who thinks she's more intelligent than she is, and she's really annoying. And this person is just C Cup is probably the most annoying. Even more, well, I don't want her and Don Lemon would be in the running for the most annoying person on CNN. But like I said, no mention on what countries are doing it right on CNN. CNN lies by omission, and they cover what they want to cover.
Okay,
it's
wait.
Complete nonsense.
This woman's name is C Cup.
CE Cup.
You mean SE, right? SE Cup.
Yeah. SE Cup.
Gotcha.
I don't even.
C Cup.
75,000 people who can get tested, or is it everybody? A quarantine nurse says she was refused to test.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. She's trying to put on her glasses, looking smart.
Yeah.
Wow. So we got some comments going on here. What's going on, Debbie? You need to be careful playing copyright. It's fine. This is fine. News clips are fair game. We're commentating on the news clips. All those idiots do is bash Trump. They turn everything around and make it Trump. You're crazy to listen to CNN. She's biased. She's on the left. Listen to the guest Joe Rogan had on his show. Oh, God. Okay. So there's that. You want to go to the next clip? What do you got? Brian, you're muted.
Myself on Nudie Poo. Let's go to, I think it's Tim Pool.
All right.
He's the next one out there. And he's talking, by the way, not about the coronavirus, but about the bias in media.
Many of you may be aware that recently Project Veritas released undercover footage of an ABC News reporter saying that they're basically biased against the president. All they really care about is the outrage of the day, and they don't give the president credit for the things that he actually does. Well, recently in an investors meeting, an investor challenged Disney CEO Bob Chapek, who then went on to downplay pervasive anti-conservative bias. But the audience apparently wasn't having it because they gave a massive applause for this man after he said 93% of network coverage of Donald Trump is negative. That is not objective. He challenged the CEO and asked him what he would do to bring objectivity back to ABC News. The audience cheered for it. It's a good sign, and I'll give a shout out to Project Veritas. Good job. I covered that video about the ABC News reporter.
All right.
And there's some
You got to get some commentary too here. Anything?
All right. So yeah, I mean, this is going on. And like I said, it's very clear. And how can we get true and real news if, number one, YouTube and the one place where citizen journalists can basically make their statement and call out, and put out their facts. And you have, like groups like ABC News, CNN. These are all basically activist journalists.
Okay.
And they're putting their spin on it. And they're censoring anybody who goes against their narrative. And, like I said, we had the information age where we could challenge people's ideas. Well, hey, these modern day these, modern day inquisitioners or inquisitors have told us that we can't do that. And Debbie Daly said CNN is Clinton News Network. And it's a fake.
Here. They suspended the guy, and all he really did was be candid and tell the truth. But he did negatively impact their business. I can kind of understand it, but hey, it's good to hear the truth. The important thing about what Project Veritas did is that every time they do something like this, they're pulling back the curtain so we can see the bias for what it really is. When these reporters are on camera saying ABC 123 XYZ, whatever, they're not telling you the truth, and this guy straight up says it. Unfortunately, it was only on undercover footage. Do we truly see that when you turn on cable TV and see that reporter talking, they are probably lying?
Wow.
At the very least, misleading you.
Wow.
Not telling you.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know
now,
if we'd say it better.
Poole, here's the thing. Tim Poole believes that they're doing it because of money. That they found their audience.
I'm right
and
there
it's
with
money.
him.
He goes on to say that. I disagree. I think they do it because they believe they're right and they know what is best for us. And like a lot of these people think, that they have found the truth, and anything that goes against their truth, they will go against and they will shut down. And they have no scruples or morals about it. The people that work for a lot of these internet sites have no scruples or morals. They will shut you down. They will, they will blacklist you. They will cancel you and the like. And that's what we're basically fighting against right now. That's what society is fighting against. It's like, hey, let's bring out all ideas out onto the table. See what stands up against its bootstraps.
Good point.
Oh, did you say go Debbie, and then she said, okay, I'll leave?
No.
Let's check out this story from Fox News.
She's so sensitive. I was saying go Debbie, like she is on fire. And I even put on there, she is the chat board warrior of the day. I would not say go away.
Yes.
Never. We love our chatters.
Once again, say go away.
Debbie, stop being sensitive. You're too sensitive. That's not what I said. All right. Let's play a little bit more of this clip here.
Let me show you this tweet first from James O'Keefe. He says, breaking, massive applause from the audience after Disney CEO Bob Chapek was confronted at the annual investors meeting over exposed ABC and Epstein cover-up. A lot of folks here, he said, quote, a lot of folks here know a few weeks ago, Project Veritas exposed a video. Now, Fox is reporting that he's downplaying the scandals, and what more could you expect? But I got to say, man, if you're an investor and you're at these meetings, I assure you, many of these investors are conservative and moderate. They're not all left-leaning. How do you have network coverage of the president being 93% negative? Everything always negative. And you know what I love? They say, Tim, how come everything you always do about Trump is like you talk about how the Democrats are bad? I'm like, oh, not funny, isn't it? I don't see you complaining when you look to literally every other network with 93% negative coverage on the president. And the funny thing is, my coverage of Trump typically is not overwhelmingly positive either. I'm pretty much in the middle guy. I can point out when Trump does well, and I criticize him for a lot of things I don't like about him, but fairly ambivalent, right? That's what's incredible about the bias at these networks. That my being fairly ambivalent and saying Trump's he's kind of bad, but he's not that bad, right? It's not enough for them. They say that mentality that Trump is not that bad is proof I must be right wing.
All right, where you at?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I tweeted to you a thing about Don Lemon, and it's because it's not on YouTube.
All right, let's close out this video first. Are you done with this Tim Pool video?
I'm done with that. I'm done with Tim Pool, but he makes a lot of points about, and he exposes the activist journalists. The only thing that I disagree with him on is that that it's not about money. It's more about ego than it is about money.
All right. So what was the other video you had?
Well, no, I tweeted to you something. I wonder if you can play it from Twitter because I can't get it on YouTube.
Twitter. All right.
And it's Don Lemon. I just tweeted it to you.
All right. Don Lemon goes nuts. There he is. Let's oh shit.
He didn't do a good job of it because they had to come back and clarify it several times. And this has been going on long enough for them to get it straight. We need straight, accurate information from this president and this administration, and we're not getting it. And I don't understand why you are tiptoeing around it. He came out, gave an address that usually that happens very rarely, and he doesn't get it right.
I'm going to tell you, first of all, he read it. And somebody that wrote this, look, I don't want to get into that.
Why not? That's why you're here, to talk about the president's address.
Can I finish now?
No, you can't, John, because we're here to talk about the president's. Wait, we're here. I don't want you to go on and deflect and talk about something else, because we're here to talk about the president's address. And you said that someone else wrote it. He's the president. Even if someone else wrote it, it should be right.
I know he did, and he has to be Don. He put this thing out because there was some confusion out there. Okay,
now there's more confusion, John.
And what I'm trying to say to you, Don, we got to move down the road. Looking back doesn't get things fixed.
We're not looking back. The president's address. Was tonight. That is the newest information with this. Is the president's address.
I think it was fine. That's what I think.
You think inaccurate information that you have to come back and clarify 2 or 3 times, you think that's fine?
Look, I thought he did fine. That's what I thought. I thought he had the right tone, and he no longer played around with, we're going to blame Democrats, or forget this stuff. I hope he's trying to move forward because he understands the seriousness of this situation. Now, the fact that they clarified, it isn't unusual in a speech for somebody to clarify something, okay? But I don't think that the tone he showed tonight takes away from some clarification. I think he set a serious tone. That's what I wanted out of him for a long time, and I think we got it.
John.
That's what I think. And I think we need to move forward. I can be serious and sit here and tell you 4 + 4 = 85.
Wow. Oh, wow. All right.
I mean, is that the end of that video? Is there more of that?
No, that was that.
Oh my God. I mean, how does this guy, he is so unlikable. How does this person have a job? Did you just hear that?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that behavior?
It's amazing that has basically gone unchecked. How is that even possible?
I mean, from the days of Ted Koppel, I mean, to Peter Jennings, to the rest, this is pathetic. I mean, Walter Cronkite must be rolling in his grave. I mean, these guys are pathetic.
Yeah, I don't get how that's news at all.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is a clear, spoiled little activist journalist who doesn't know how to behave. Good God, I can't believe that Don Lemon, and maybe he knows somebody at the studio, but I can't believe that man has a job.
Did Debbie really leave? What the heck? What's wrong with people?
Yeah, she left.
Oh, that's silly.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, she took something one way, and that wasn't true, and it's like,
oh wow.
Well, you know what? Yeah.
I was just happy to have somebody chatting.
Yeah, I was too. Oh. Either way.
Yeah.
But I was going to play Stefan Molyneux and how basically he was talking about. I don't want to play it because it's just. But how he was basically talking about how a lot of foreign countries, and anyone can listen to Stefan Molyneux if they want to, how foreign countries.
Where do I go in this video? How far in?
No, don't go into it. Don't go into it. You know what? I don't want to play it.
The 48-seat bus, right? 48 seats.
You got to hear him.
And he's right.
Oh, I'm already falling asleep. All right. That's it.
All right, come on, dude. I like. I think I like Stefan Molyneux, but here's the deal.
He appeals to your intellectual starvation.
Yeah, he appeals to that, but like I said, I think I'll do a whole thing on activist journalists at some time and how journalists have changed. And I don't know what it is with CNN, but they seem to be, the worst. And there was a time when they had people who were strict news, who basically read the news and just let the audience decide. These people are making commentary. They've never. I mean, in the way, like a few times, this is changed, and CNN is the worst because, and I don't know where they get these people from. I mean, of course, Cuomo, his father was a governor. How can you claim impartiality like that? It's mind-boggling to me. I just don't understand it. Anyway, I think that'll do it. Like and subscribe. Yeah, this is Activist Journalist 101. And like I said, these people think they know what's best for us. And they want to preach to us. And Don Lemon is probably the worst of them. But they want to preach to us without rebuttal. And, you can't get on their show. And if you try to do rebuttal, they will do their best to silence you.
He doesn't get it right?
I'm going to tell you, first of all, he read it. And somebody that wrote this, look, I don't want to get into that.
Why not? That's why you're here to talk about the president's address.
Can I finish now?
No, you can't, John, because we're here to.
No, you can't. You've got to listen to Don Lemon.
Unbelievable behavior. Shame on you.
Shame.
You are an obnoxious. Don Lemon, you are an obnoxious human being. Anyone who sees you as a good journalist, they have to be rubes. Bottom line. All right.
Are we done here?
We're done.
I'm mad at YouTube right now. Why aren't you here listening to the best new live stream on YouTube? What are you doing? Get your butts in here. Debbie Daly, I'm sorry if you took it the wrong way. I was saying, go Debbie, like a cheerleader. I guess I can't be a cheerleader. Boo-hoo-hoo. All right. Like and subscribe, please. We need subscribers.